Hello, 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 hello. I'm inspired by that. You put that little hello. Do that again.
Hello.
I was inspired by that TikTok you put up.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was like, did you see the TikTok? I put it on there as a little surprise for you. And then I never mentioned it again. It was great.
No, and I wasn't even the one who pulled it up. Jared did, which was hilarious to me. I was like, am I singing? He was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Hi, Yvette. Thanks for joining.
Yvette, I just finished your year ahead spread. Get excited. April, yours is up next.
April.
I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, the year aheads. You're cruising on them.
Yeah. Gotta get them out there.
Should we put up a banner? For anybody wants to. Do you want to do that or want me to do that? There's two of us.
Either way is fine.
You're holding the space for this long. Do I have a thing? Sorry, guys. I got distracted by real life. My bad. Here you go.
Too bad. That's a bad plan. My dog's like, I'm going to stare out the window and wait for something to bark at. It's going to be great.
Yeah, the year ahead. It's so exciting. I love it so much. 2023 is going to be a rocking year for our tribe, man.
2023. So yeah, I'm ready. By 2022.
A lot of.
That's how I feel every year.
You're like, the old is dead.
Yeah.
The new is new.
Every time by like October, I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of over this year. Let's start planning for next business year.
I'm like, what year are we in? By October, it's like, oh, I know what year we're in. It's good.
It's like 2 months.
I've landed in the current time. Whew. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining. We're doing What Are Your Spiritual Gifts today. We're doing open donations for Scooby's surgery, which went really well. And they were able to remove a cob of corn that looks like it was picked up from a neighboring farm. So just in case you guys aren't aware, corn on the cob will kill your dogs. So don't let them eat it. And I guess it's really great that they were able to remove it. And it was way less invasive than they thought it was going to be. In case you haven't read Sarah's post. And the vet was really great and is allowing her to work out payment, which is so awesome. So we have a couple more events coming on. I know that I'm doing one on Friday afternoon with Lorna and Kaylee. And then I believe Tabby and Jennifer Wardlow are going to be at 5:30 on Friday. And they're always a wild ride together. They go really deep. So that's really fun. So and we'll see what else pops up. I know we've got some other things in the works. You know, it's kind of last minute. You know how it goes. We're doing our best. So thank you all so much for just saying yes. We also have the raffle going for our friend Rebecca Claire. She donated a QHEH session, which is a quantum healing session, which I hear is really great. I haven't tried it yet, but personally from her, but I've had many Akashic Records readings and I love and adore her. And that's only a $10 donation. You just have to put in raffle. I'm going to pull that on Saturday. I think that's what I said. I should probably hold myself to that. I know a couple people, so just let us know and I'll add you to the list. And I think that's all I got. We've got a few people on the list. So if you are here, say hi. Yvette was first. So I think we'll start with Yvette just because first come, first serve. And then after that will be April. And then if and when our other two beauties show up. And just let us know if you want to donate. It's open donation, whatever you feel is correct. Like whatever, you know, we all are honoring everyone's. So don't feel like you have to do anything that you can't do. We did want to offer this up. This was Sammy's idea. She was like, we haven't done one of these ever. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Yep. Linda, if you're a Facebook user and you say I already donated, that is accurate. So we're going to get started. So then we'll just go from there. And so as people join in.
Oh, it makes the banner go away. That's my bad.
Yeah, Yvette, you're just going to have to know it's you. Oh, wait, but you know, yeah. It's so good. Thank you all so much for your donations. I know it's like, that was like her baby. Is her baby. Yeah. So I know for those of you familiar with spiritual gifts, we all have the opportunity to learn any and everything that we want. We're completely connected and can do that. So a lot of times our contracts, we come here to experience certain things. So we start off with gifts that are more pronounced to help us along the way. And so we have the traditional clairs, of course. There's the clairvoyance, the clairsentient, the clairaudient. I always forget the other ones that are called, but there's taste, smell, cognizant. It's easy when I have the list and I talk about it, but when I think about it, I'm always like, I can't remember all of them.
Voyance, audience, cognizance.
Yeah, remote
That's
viewing.
all I ever remember.
You know, we all have the opportunity to be healers, and some of us are called to bring that through our lifetime. So there's all that different types of modalities in healing. So we're just going to go through. Many of you, of course, kind of already have an inkling. And it's always good. I love the check-in too, because sometimes we grow and we don't realize. We're like, oh yeah. Like I learned in my spiritual gift journey that when I got into contracts work, I learned that I wrote my own self a contract and signed it for this life. That I could only learn about my lives when they were told to me, and then I could access them in the Akashic records. How about that? Now I can go and get anybody else's, but not my own, because that is something that I would totally do to myself, right? Because at the end of the day, as Pinkie Pie, I want to make the party. So what's the best, right? So
Yeah.
I'm ready to rock, Peter. Sorry, I can blab. I'm blabbing away. I feel like you're ready. You ready to rock and roll? Yvette, you ready?
Ready to rock and roll.
Mm-hmm.
My messages are pretty strong for you, Yvette. You've got use your imagination, Neptune. You've got the North Node in Scorpio in the 6th house, which is the Virgo house of feeling useful, health and fitness, systematic functioning habits, work habits specifically. And then you've also got the Tarantula. I don't know if I showed that one. So it's clear that your current state of gifts is that unity chakra, that crown chakra. So pulling in, we are all one. This is unity. Neptune's really good about breaking down any disillusionment and really allowing you to see everything for what it truly is. And then in that moment, you can very easily tune into your intuition, use your imagination, and really dream, and then, weave things together. That's why we've got that tarantula energy happening there. So you're able to kind of blend all of those things together. Scorpios and evolution. Scorpios go on this magical 3-part evolution of becoming true masters of the emotional spectrum. And so you are finding service. Basically, what this tells me is you are moving towards the service of providing emotional and intuitive transformations for other people. So you're able to act almost as if a catalyst to allow people to start dreaming and thinking and really diving in. And sometimes that's beautiful and great. And people go, oh my gosh, thanks. And sometimes people go, oh my gosh, why would you make me look at that? I did not want to look at that and experience that. So there's 2 different reactions to that gift, obviously, depending on where people are in their journey. But the tarantula is really the crossroads. So you're in this moment of meeting people where they're at a crossroads in their life, and you're inspiring them to use their imagination, to tune into their intuition. And sometimes that's not pretty, like Neptune. Sometimes that's a lot of them being kind of delusional, a little like the Pisces can be sometimes. They like to, the Disney adult, they like to kind of like delude themselves into everything's going to have a beautiful, happy ending. And then in reality, it's like, oh, I've got some stuff to still work on. So, sorry, you can probably hear my dogs in the background. They are living their lives now.
Like, it's Zoom time.
It's the pre-walkie Zoom. It's good stuff. Yeah, you're a big catalyst for like whatever that person needs in the moment of the next part of their journey. They're getting it from you at this moment of time. That is your current gift, and it is beautiful and messy and emotional and everything. Yeah. Okay, sorry, done.
That's really good. I'm all of that and more. So specifically regarding your site, I don't know if you work with Sophia or know of Sophia, but there is that. This is the code of sight. They want me to show you all the codes. So look at these: Heart of the Dragon and the code of sight, of remote viewing, of psychic vision, of all of that, of seeing the connections, and understanding the ability to see the pattern when not very many people are. There aren't many with a particular brain structure to be able to pick the pattern through the chaos and to really understand long term what that is. With regard to that, I really asked going into that in the depth of what that means for you and where you could go should you choose, right? Because of the first and foremost, it's always, does this resonate? Does this not resonate? And going within your inner authority and deciding, yes, this is correct, right? And based on that, what I really felt very strongly, and then it was really agreed upon, within this adventure that you're going on and that you're learning and that you're growing, there is a need to help others and show them and teach them, right? And guide them in that way on protection and what that means. And then really feel that this is like divine sovereignty, like spiritual, physical, mental, emotional protection with that way. You just have so much wisdom, right? The wisdom card came up too. That's just naturally. And this wisdom is known and learned, right? You have had, not only have you studied a lot in your life, you've had tons of experience. You know, you are a way shower in the field still. You've been able to adapt and move and really stay in the flow of everything. And that's a big part of the puzzle, right? So this puzzle piece, this part of the sight, this wisdom and all of that, what it really comes down to is standing in your truth all the way and allowing that unique frequency to really step through. So what I did here is that and this is up to you, and it's time for you. This is what your guides are saying to me. This is what, those who have a lot of thoughts and opinions about the direction of your life. It's really time for you to find a guide or a mentor to work with who can really help you evolve in the depths that you are wanting. And part of that is, yes, you can absolutely do this on your own. You can go and research, you can go find everything, you can get it through the books, you can get it through your own experience or whatever. But I feel like it's more about the connection with those teachers or mentor guides, but however you want to, they feel right for you. And whether that is just watching a video or working directly with that. So I encourage and invite you to lean into that and see how that feels, because it could very well, you could be your own teacher, right? There are no rules to anything. So really allow yourself to go in and what I always say is go where you shine and where you feel bright and where you're led to and what lights you up, right? Because there is this excitement and learning that has been pretty much decimated in our school system. So the fact that you have that energy itself will spread through and will quickly, in the sweetest way possible, infect others, right? And your passion for learning and your ability to convey what you've learned in a practical and in an esoteric way will allow you to really connect with the communities around you, your established self as a business person, as an already a leader within the community itself. But I'm in agreement. There is like this next level just waiting for you to say yes to whatever that is. And so I don't know if that's, if you want to look into what feels right, Sophia, once again, stepping forward saying, come find me in that way, in the divine creatrix herself, in that, in the more of the ancient texts. So I feel should you be interested in finding a guide or a teacher or someone to help you along the way, that there's someone who really has knowledge. There's this enormous spider coming down this plant right now. It's literally weaving a web. Whoa. Anyway, that's crazy.
Up, right?
Yeah, sorry. And so there's a lot of possibilities. I mean, it really does feel like, yeah, That's what I'm getting really for your team is to really, and you, I mean, it is quite possible should you lean in and say, I want to learn directly from source itself. I mean, we all have this capability. So really find out what that is and how you want to learn and what that means in your community and your growth. But it is time to get to that next level. Yeah. It feels really good. This sight, this knowing, this truth. Right. Because with this gift and the other ones and everything on your tool belt, you really do have that calling, that other spiritual gift, right? Of the calling of being a showing as a way shower, as a leader in the way to weave the communities. And you know what I mean? And that really is so much about sending your authentic self and you doing you. I hope that helps.
They told me she needs one word. So the word is clairvoyance. And then they wanted me to say, with great psychic power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
Just like you were saying about holding that frequency, I feel like that is your gift right now.
Yeah. So whoever you choose as a mentor, should that be is someone that you know that would hold your secrets, would hold space for you, would honor and recognize you and you as already coming in as a master.
Yep.
Sorry, there's one more card and I'm like, where did it go? Oh my God, it's the sight card again. You're right. Clairvoyance. Okay, so I guess the long and the short of it is clairvoyance. Great. All right, bye. There's more. Here it is, the ascension. It is so much of that. I feel like it's almost going to be like a remote precog astral, all the flavors.
I know I want to spoiler alert Yvette so much because I just finished her year ahead. I just want to let you know it's going to be a big year. The theme is transformation, like radical evolution and transformation. So, spoiler alert.
So if you are looking for a mentor, let us help you find that. We know a lot of different people and we can introduce you to a lot of people and help you find the one or ones that resonate with you, because there could be more than one. There's no pressure. Obviously, you know you're perfectly capable of doing it yourself. Please lean in and decide what is right for you through your inner authority and your strategy. All right.
Starseed Kayla, it is open donation. So you just pop any donation you want into the paypal.me/SaveScoobs ! And we will go ahead and get you a little reading. What's that?
There's no exclamation point.
Oh,
that was just the end of the sentence.
Okay. Ignore the exclamation point on the link.
That was me using proper grammar. Next is April.
That's the one. Ooh.
April, I'm just gonna start right away that one of your deep spiritual gifts is healing. So that Reiki thing, or that quantum healing thing, or that tuning fork thing, or that any kind of healing modality. I have to pull a card for that. Specifically earth healing. Okay. Nope, I don't need the cards. They're like, don't bother with the cards. Oh, hold on, I'm a liar. Okay. So I'm going to just go. Is that okay?
Yeah,
go for it. I'm going to. This is all tuned in. So smashed in between your soul star card and your source, right? So soul tribe, right? And the know of everything in the source and of itself is your star seed awakening. So this is really so much about connecting into your, into the soul tribe, into your soul family, and really allowing yourself to explore. And once again, this is going to be the theme, guys, going forward from now, is trusting your teachers, your guides, your information. And you do this through trusting and knowing yourself, right? So find the way your yeses and nos, whether you use a pendulum, whether you stand up and feel your yes and no, whatever that is, whether that's, for the emotional authorities out there, whether that's through your emotion, you have to wait a week, whether it's just instantaneous knowledge, find out your yeses and nos, right? But there is, April, for you, a deep longing for to awaken with your star seeds and connecting with that in your life and the release of that. So if you're interested in learning more, the Akanash are stepping forth, and I can tell you more about that. That's a specific type of, they are a beautiful group of folks who have been residing kind of in the Sirius land for a little while. They hail a lot from like the Blue Avians, and they're super high frequency in that way. Very close to source. Super beautiful creatures, and they love color, and that's how they use healing. So if you're interested in that, connect with me. There's a book. We have a lot of people in our healing circle who have been initiated, and you can self-initiate too. You just can't charge for it. It's like one of those things, you can do it for free and that kind of thing. But if you want to make that money off of it and promote yourself as an Adina medicine healer, you got to track down one of the elusive practitioners around the world. There aren't very many of them either. I think there's maybe like 100, I think, before Lois died. Anyway, not that that matters, but I digress. But so right then and there, that's their biggest thing. And it feels like through your healing, and I think Sammy's this way, and you're the opposite way of where you should be.
I know. It's very abnormal for us.
It's really going into depth about that. But there is, what I am hearing straight away is that a lot of the birth of all of your gifts will come from saying yes to healing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was really direct. Okay, I'm done.
All right. So for you, I've got the Crow.
Oh, nice.
Saturn, the Truth. Ask for what you need. And then we've got Cancer and Neptune in the 4th house of Cancer. Your gift currently that's playing out is seeing the unseen, specifically in the realm of what makes people feel at home. So you have this innate ability to know what makes people feel comfortable and at home. Cancer has this big mothering energy. Cancer has this big, like, divine feminine thing attached to it typically, whereas its opposite sign, Capricorn, is the divine masculine of the astrology chart. So, and it's funny because Saturn actually rules over Capricorn. So you've got both. You have the ability to dive into both energies and see both and see the unseen. So the Crow is watchful. It's aware. It notices. It sees the little nuances. Saturn's also tricky. Saturn is, like our good friend Laura always says, and so sorry guys about the background static. Our good friend Laura always says about Saturn, it's like going to the principal's office. If you've done really well and you've done all your work and you're putting your best foot forward, then when you go to the principal's office, you're like, I must be getting an award. I'm so excited. I just can't wait for all these rewards I'm going to get. If you've been sneaky or doing things you shouldn't be doing, or just not quite living your best truth when you go to see the principal, you're like, oh no, what did he catch me doing? Right? It's this sense of dread. And so there is this sense of like, you have this underlying gift of knowing exactly what people need in order to feel at home, but there needs to be some self-healing going on first and tuning into your own intuition of what you need. We always want to give from a place of surplus, right? We always want to give from a place that's stable and steady. So once we meet all of our needs and we've given ourselves some self-love and we've really dived in to what we need now, no healer is done on their journey. If you are reading something from somebody or you see a website or someone's talking in a video and they're like, well, I've gone through all of my shadow work. Well, I've done all my inner child work. That's false. I'm just going to say it that way. That's false. There is no being done, and you don't have to be completely done in order for you to start helping people and start using your gift, right? Our gifts are not given to us because we've earned them, right? We just are who we are, and we're able to tap into certain things depending on what our life experience dictates, right? So something happens to you and it forces you to use a tool in your toolbox you could have never expected. And so that's kind of what's going on here. So once you go through this last push of really some self-awareness and some self-realization, you'll start putting down those long-term foundations, and you'll start helping other people put down their home roots, their foundations. That is your gift, is to be able to do that. This is also a throat chakra card. So the time is coming for you to speak that into its existence, right? To be able to speak to others and make them feel the comfort of home. So hopefully that's helpful and resonates.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I'm totally covered goosebumps, and they're like, yes. And secondly, give from your saucer, not your cup. That's a great saying. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm studying human design. And that's something that the founder, Raoul, says. He says that's the best way to go about it, is to give from your saucer, not your cup. Mm-hmm. Anyway, let us know. Keep us posted. And as you grow, we've got healing circles. Saint Say hosts a healing circle group. Magpie Moonchild hosts a spiritual development group. Obviously, we're doing the human design, delving the human design astrology. Gene Key group. There's lots of different groups. We got shadow work, all kinds of stuff. We got so much stuff coming for next year, you guys. Like, really just be prepared to be supported. This is the time we've really had a calling from all of our practice that we've been working through. And for those who've been in the beginning, thanks for coming along with the bumpy ride. And like Sarah's been here for years and years and years. And she came into the picture. She was one of our first people to get a full 10 tethering. Like, I mean, really, it's just been so beautiful. And now she's teaching and sharing her gifts and, her beautiful shamanic work that she does and how she works with the earth. So, we're really coming out and moving through and setting up a foundational space for learning and support and resources and helping you find your way. There is something, someone asked me a long time ago, and by a long time ago, I mean like 3 days ago or maybe a week, about like who my teachers were. And I thought about that for a really long time, and who my teachers were and who my catalysts were, because they're two different things I've learned. Catalysts are ones who are in your life for just a second. They blow you up. You're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. But your teachers and your guides are the ones that stick around, that you think of years later and go, man, I learned that thing. They said it. It was so poignant, and then you get to turn around. This is what happens, right? Then as we're learning from new people, we take that and we mold and everything go in it. So get ready. Yeah, April, you should probably talk to Lorna Marshall too about the Akanash. She's got a couple of them and hang out with her every day. Linda. We've got Linda, and then Melanie Long also donated. Thank you so much, my beautiful friend. And then if Christy shows up, if not, we're going to do a little recording for her.
Yeah. After hours recording with Sammy and Allison. We could have our own radio show.
We do. We have a podcast.
Oh, yes.
That happened in real life. I know. We like to blab together, and we're like, friends, come blab with us. Let's all blab about things we love. Blah, 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 blah. And no.
This last turn of podcasts, I think I've learned and grown. I think I've had a spiritual awakening after each one. It's been crazy for me.
She's here. Oh, Linda. Guys, in case you don't know, Linda's hosting a Reiki 1 and 2 in California in mid-January. I'm coming and teaching Reiki. She's going to host it because she's amazing. And at our house. And maybe if I talk to Sammy, she can be my body double, and we can actually get the website up and running, because I have so many grand ideas, but I'm not an energy type. So I'm like, these ideas are great. And I was like, rainbows.
Well, I have a couple weeks off, Boys and Girls Club. We can get together in person.
Yeah, Terry's taking a break.
Just do some stuff.
So that being said, and I know we've touched base upon this before, is that I'm really excited to see what comes through for Sammy, is that yeah, it's really time when you work once you get like, so it's kind of like it's like you were dropped in and then it was like off and running, right? So there is this movement to take everything that you've experienced and known, because you are so connected. You already, working with, the Essenes and working with the angels and all the colors and the galactics and the, and the Fae and everybody coming in and the dragons and all of that and working together, and how you've tied that in with music and, all the guides and everything. Now is the time, they're saying, is to solidify that. And that's, you've said yes to that, right? That is now moving into the foundational work of Reiki, which is a really beautiful foundation. And so as that happens and unfolds, once that happens, I will encourage and invite you to tell everything to bugger off and go within completely, and take a lot of time to let the information integrate and to do the practice and to do your own researching, and to really allow yourself to have the splenic intuition, and really understand that concept. And hi, baby love. And find that is and find yourself in this balance. And I know your team is so sweet. They are just so excited for you for this upcoming year, because this is really the year where you start to believe how amazing you are, what you really can do, and what kind of guide and leader that you already are and will continue to grow into. So I think even more of that, what I'm getting is really moving into this leadership role, working with other healers in that way, as teaching, as through experiments and experiences within circles, really trusting the journey. Like we've talked about before, you've really taken this passion to heal yourself completely to the core. And because of that, because you've gotten all the way to the core of everything, there are so many people that are going to benefit from this through your experiences as you share your gifts. And I think Sam is going to get even into more of that, but it feels like this, you're right now working on your spiritual gifts from what I'm getting is from really setting that foundation, which you've said yes to, integrating that foundation and allowing that to enhance all of the beautiful, wonderful things that you already do, because it will allow you to trust yourself. I hope that makes sense. I know she's going to fly. It's like so amazing. I think I'm done. Is that true?
It's funny you say that. There's going to be a lot of flying and bird imagery in these cards. So first card is listening to others. The next card is the Grand Cross, the Provoker. The next is Chiron, healing. The Owl. And then you've got the Sun and Libra in the 12th house. That's the Pisces house of karmic closures, endings, what's hidden, the subconscious mind. So this card directly is the clairvoyance card in this deck. Okay. It's also the abundance card. It's the owl goes out and it retrieves treasure. Right. But it's not this gift. It wants me not to focus on the gift, but the why the gift works. So, or not.
Nudie newts. Nudie newts, nudie newts. Oh, is there someone running by? Is someone having an exercise moment? They're so funny. Nudie newts.
He almost just broke my kitchen chair.
I saw that.
I was like, no, to like grab the chair. Okay. So let's put it all together. So essentially, Chiron, The way Chiron heals is a little bit interesting because it doesn't just throw out the old trauma. It doesn't do that. Your ego, everything that you are, your identity when you first come in is formed based on those initial traumas. And so what Chiron's really good at doing is looking at the old and bringing in the new boldly. So it's not saying goodbye to things just because. You've got the sun, which is essentially the ego. And it is playing with Cancer in the 12th house. Sorry, they're trying to give me the words to say it the way that I need to say it. It's all in my brain, but I can't get it out. You know, when they like give you the download and
yeah, and there's 27 of them talking at once. Yeah.
The Grand Cross is where it all comes together. It's like where East meets West meets North meets South, right? And it provokes tension right away. What you are really good at is listening to the underlying things that people are saying. So it's not about hearing the attack or hearing the meanness or the words. It's about hearing the underneath of what is actually being meant by what is being said and honoring all parts of a person, right? Honoring their intuition, Cancer, honoring their ego, the sun, honoring their intuition, the 12th house. It's honoring all three things together. And that's where the abundance comes from. It's not like people be like, this is how you manifest money. This is how you get money. You do this. It's not one thing, right? It's an understanding of how all things play together and fit together in a beautiful puzzle and a beautiful tapestry. So it's something that you do naturally. You don't quite understand when other people can't do it. You're like, why aren't you getting this? Because it's so easy for you. It's so natural for you. It's a gift that you came into this world already having established. Yeah. So try to be patient with the people around you. People are going to say offensive things about their ego or someone else's ego. People are going to say offensive things about the way we did it in the past, right? But you're really good at recognizing what worked in the past and recognizing what the future plans are and where that's moving. And so that's where leadership begins, right? That's what a good leader does. They don't just discount something because they found something better, right? They try to figure out how to bridge those gaps for people so everyone gets to come along in all three parts of their brain, the intuition, the ego, and the emotion, right? All of them get to play and come together because there's a beautiful, nice little bridging them all together, which is you. That's your gift. And yeah, that brings abundance. But it's just so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's just so much more in there than just bringing money. Money is like the least of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. For those of you that have not had the pleasure of receiving healing from Linda, I strongly recommend it. It's really affordable and it's life-changing. And she's been working on my son, and it's great because he basically gave her okay, whatever. Mom and Sammy aren't allowed in, but Linda, that's how you know. That's a true angel right there. Even my son, my McCrudgeon teenage son, who's so beautiful and amazing, was like, all right, Linda can, no one else, just Linda. So you guys, just so you know, like if a teenager says yes, that's always a good sign. I always think so. Yeah, there's so much to it. It's like, this is like, that's what I mean. It's like, this is just the beginning. I'm like peeling it away and I'm like, so.
Well, we can all do everything, right? No one can tell you what your gifts really are, but
but we can invite you in.
Yeah.
But that's what we do for each other. We all started somewhere, right? Sometimes it's like, for me, clairsentient, I just thought I had a really great imagination. Clairaudient, I just thought I was a good bartender. You know what I mean? And it's not until you connect. Oh, yeah. Ayahuasca. Oh, are you talking about the Akenash? It's Aken. Akenash. It's look up Lois J. Wetzel. It'll be way faster. It's a Dina medicine. That's like the fastest way. But there's like a whole sub story to this that yeah, that is just begun. I love it. I hope that makes sense. Linda, you're just such a beautiful, incredible soul. And like, I'm just so excited for how the future is unfolding and all the magical healing. I mean, like that's one of your gifts too, right? You're just this incredible healer. I know. They're just like her heart. Her heart is just so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Great. I hope that helps. Let us know. We have Miss Melanie. Melanie. Okay. Melanie, say hi. It's only been 40 minutes. We're like cruising through it. I like it's like very direct.
Yeah, they have like very direct messages about people's gifts. I guess they would as guides, right? They'd be like, we've been waiting to tell them this.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm. Woof. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today we're doing what's your special spirit gifts? What are we calling? What's it called? What's your spiritual gifts? Oh my God. I started reading Scoobs and I stopped. My brain was still talking. So we're taking all open donations. If you're curious, if you want a little bit more clarity or any of that, just let us know. Just let us know you donated. It's whatever. It all goes to help save Scoobs, who is recovering from surgery. And we're so grateful that he's going to be okay. So now we're just working the rest out. Getting the rest of that cash money to the vet. All right. Yeah. Melanie, are you aware that you're a weaver? Oh, thanks, James. I know it takes a little time for everyone to respond. So I'm like, and are you?
Never heard of that term.
Okay. Okay. So what type of weaver is she? So a weaver is someone or something like a spider is a great example, like we were talking about before, that can create a web, that can put things together. You can see a lot like crocheting a lot. That hi Ivy, that puts things together. So in the specific instance of what this is for, this is a really cool spiritual gift that your team wants to bring forth. So, oh my gosh, Ivy, thank you so much. I'm going to see if I can explain it to you. So if you, are you visual or are you feeling? I know you could do both, but. Mark. Okay, that's what I thought. It's so funny because I was like, I'm pretty sure she's going to say feeling, and then I just checked because I still, even after all these years, I'm like, oh, it's one more time. It's a sacral that popped up, which I thought was hilarious. Okay, so when you do this, when you're doing this weaving, so it's kind of like just go really deep into your body, okay, and just close your eyes. And the sacral is a great place to start with this, right? That it feels like that could be a potential. The soul language will come into that definitely for sure. And so as you're doing that, allow yourself to tune in to the energy of your sacral system, right? This is your and your solar plexus too carries a lot of emotions as well, right? And really let yourself like marinate, okay? And then when you're doing and this is like, we can go the quick route. It's just using your whatever particular dialect that speaks to you for your soul language, your language of light, whatever that is to allow that. And what I'm hearing is to, and what they're showing me is you're taking that center of gravity within your sacral solar plexus area. You can even tune into your root too. It's kind of like, it's almost like you're using that as like a slingshot and allow yourself to feel yourself pull back and then release and go up into source itself, right? And then when you're up there, take that feeling, right? So even if you want to even take your hands, it's like, right? And it kind of do like a weaving motion. If that feels good to you, you can even just feel it in that way, right? And then you're pulling it down. And so what they're telling me is as you're pulling that down from source, right? Or from source in any direction, and you're taking your hands and just feel it kind of like that energy kind of like weaving together and what that means. And it's going to, as it comes down, it's really going to show itself on what it's for and where it's going. And so what they're saying is that this will also help kind of like bring it into your third eye. So allow it to come down into your third eye, and this will help invoke vision. Okay. And through that invoked vision, I'm hearing that this is just like a perfect storm for astral travel, and really allowing yourself to come out. So just, and then once going through that, really allowing yourself to then like take once again, go back into that slingshot, right? So you're now in your third eye and also your sacral. So you're coming to even more of a slingshot. Let that release and, kind of do that ascension. And with that, while you're doing all of that, in that weaving, tuning into what your solar plexus and your heart chakra are saying, and really allowing them to speak. So maybe that is coming through with the dialects, as they're expressing themselves as well. And through that, envision that feeling and that knowing of it all coming together. And then this is what you want to do when you connect, whether it's in yourself or another or a plant or whatever, that weaving, and allow it to just go in. So I don't know if Reiki is your jam, if you've done that before, but traditionally in Reiki, it comes in through your body and then goes out through your hands, but you don't have to do it that way, whatever feels right for you, and allow you to put that in there. So to say that, so what I'm hearing is a great energy to call into is anything from the Boots constellation. They got boots, they can come in because they're great weavers, right? And so that's a lot of where, in the starseed realm, it's very talked about, where there's Arachne and all that really good stuff. But there are other unnamed frequencies that are very shy and are beautiful weavers and have a similar kind of flavor, but don't necessarily like to be talked about. They're like in the quietness. So yeah, I would test that. That's what I'm hearing. I think Samuel have even kind of more in its own way explaining it. I hope that makes sense. I didn't expect to give like a demonstration for that, but I am really excited to see, should you say yes to that, where that takes you, because it feels like what it feels like to me is that weaving that you do, it's like you'll be able to sense like missing parts, like almost like like when the DNA breaks sometimes, or like there's just like a pool in a sweater or something, and then you can just go in and go and like just with that, all of that energy, that's the specifically woven that way from your sacral to source through your third eye, solar plexus, heart, all of that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'm done.
So what I'm feeling in my body is that you've got this Kundalini awakening that's happening, and it's getting stuck in the heart chakra. I'm feeling a lot of like resistance in the heart. Like my heart has grown so much bigger that it's like trying to expand out, but the throat and the third eye chakra are like, they have one more little test. They have like one more little trial they need to go through before they can really like get it and upgrade. There's some kind of closure there. And so what you've got is the ask for what you need card, which is a throat chakra card with the shark in the 4th house of roots. And then you've also rolled Jupiter and Pisces in the 10th house. The 10th house is the Capricorn house of authority, structure, long-term planning, that father energy, that divine masculine energy, that ability to move forward. The shark is really direct. It's really direct. It's good at saying what it needs to say. It doesn't really... it's kind of captivating in a way, like, they have like Shark Week and stuff. It's like very magnetizing. And then you've got a lot of like watery intuition things, especially with this Roots card. I think your unique thing to do is you don't back down from super directness. This is something that Allison does really well too. Someone will come into a workshop with us and they'll come in and they'll be like, well, what is this term? Well, where is it from? Well, how do you know about it? Well, how long have you been studying? And, you know, most people would be like, calm it down, my friend. Like, stop circling me like a shark, right? Like, stop doing that. But she doesn't. She's like, she gets interested and curious. And she's like, this is like a weird, grumpy little puzzle I need to figure out. So then she dives into that and she gets really good at discernment and she gets really good at figuring out what that person needs to hear in order to lay down the foundation that they need. Both the 4th house and the 10th house are about foundational structures. The 4th house is about foundations in the home, with your family, with your early childhood, that kind of foundation. And then the 10th house is the foundation that you're making long term. So, it's like you've got both of the layers there. What you're getting rid of right now is some of that early childhood conditioning that lives in that heart space, and you're getting ready to speak it out and ask for what you need, something you didn't get to do when you were a child. And that is that moment when you're going to do that last upgrade, and you're going to feel that expansion in the 3rd eye. It's going to go straight to that Piscean mysticism, intuition, and just Jupiter is going to go boom. And you're going to start to bring in a whole bunch of gifts. But the most important thing is that you'll have this discernment. You'll know, you'll see people coming from a mile away and you'll figure out that brain puzzle right off the bat. And you're not afraid of the shark. You're not afraid of him because you have these foundations that you're working through. You've got these roots down deep now. They've gone down past all the they've gone through the family karma, they've healed it, and now they're nourishing the family, right? So you're providing this sense of nourishment for that ancestral healing that you need, which in turn, it's going to rattle some, sorry, boomers. It's going to rattle some boomers, you know, I don't know what your age range is, but they're going to be like, how'd she figure this out? Kind of thing, you know, like, how's she getting around this? Why is this not perturbing her? Why can't I control her in this way? You know what I mean? They're so used to having their generation be a certain way. And so coming from you being able to be like, yeah, let me show you this better way. And then you've got people like Linda, who we just did, who comes from that age range, but is able to see the value of the old and the new together, right? So you're going to start finding those people. And it's like, there will be less division. You'll make it so there's less division. You'll find those people and it's like, hey, you know, the bullying techniques don't work anymore. The narcissistic techniques don't really work anymore. Let me show you a different way to ask for what you need. That's why this part is so important, because boomers were not traditionally, they're outliers for every group, but boomers were not given a voice when they were little. They were told that they're kids and they're to sit silently and to not say anything, right? And so they grew up with that feeling of like, well, my voice doesn't matter. So there were two thoughts, right? There were people that just sacrificed themselves for their family, or there were the people that were like, well, I'm going to get really loud and let's civil rights it. You know what I mean? So you're healing this massive
wound,
world wound almost of how to ask for what you need.
Yeah,
that's your gift. You don't back down from the circling sharks. You go, curious, this is interesting. I wonder what their foundations are and if they're built on sand or stone. Let's check into that.
I love that. Yeah, so then I guess coming around to all of that, it really feels that this is an activation, like a self-activation. So try that out. Try that, tuning into your sacral and going up to source and coming down into your 3rd eye and then coming out, and you know what I mean? And using that solar plexus and opening up that heart space and giving all that and see what happens. Should you trust yourself? Should that resonate? Obviously, you make adjustments and do whatever you want, right? This is just, it's cool though. Kundalini stuff is cool.
It is.
Yeah. Thank you so much for saying yes. That was really neat. I don't often get exact instructions anymore, so it's cool because I'm like, oh, that's fun. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna try that later. What's it gonna be like for me? So yeah, thank you so much, Melanie. Really appreciate it. Next in line, we have James Davis. And then after that, we've got Ivy. I'm saying that like that's the order. I think that's true. Hi, Face ID.
What was that when we were on our way to, was it New York when we were on our way there and I shoved the phone in front of your face?
It needs your Face ID. Look at it. And the driver.
She's like driving. There's my millennial weakness. I'm like, the robot told me to do it. Safety
like,
be damned.
The truck next to us is like, we're going to die today, everybody. It's going to be great. But then we didn't. You caught yourself midway through, though.
It's like, wait, no.
Inappropriate time. Oh, man. James, this is going to sound really strange and it's not applicable to anything, but are you aware that you have an implant right here in your brain? Follow up. It's not malicious. Yeah. And if that resonates with you, would you like to know more about it? Oh, that's cool. Okay. Are you okay? Oh my God. Okay. I'm going to cry. It's going to be so great. Everything's going to be fine.
Oh.
Okay, so where do I start? You guys, we're gonna start at source. So this is it's just coming through. So I'm just gonna blab it. So please take whatever resonates, let the rest fall away because it's just gonna come. So your job at source was to connect. Keep the connections with the oversouls as they fractaled out into experiencing the illusionment of separation. So you were really into like the weaving and the wanting of source. And you were really fascinated about how when source fell into that piece of source fractaling out as an oversoul, as an individual, and how it anchored into the earth. The earth was a really interesting place because there was something about the earth that had a specific release that was happening at a certain time, which is right now, of course, that we're doing it. Of course, this all coincides with the Starseed Awakening that brings itself and weaves it back up to source itself so it can return to wholeness, to oneness. There's something about that yo-yo effect that you found really fascinating and you just really loved. And not just you, but the others of you that were there. Okay, so right now, there is this calling to go underneath the mist, the ground. You're on a double mission. There's another mission that you're here for. You can feel it in that way, this searching, right? To get here. So I'm going to try to put everything in order because I know this is like just streaming it. So this implant specifically has to do with your ability. You had it, your future self and your past self got together during a time and put it in this one with your higher self working all together because they're like an octopus, right? We have all these like little arms and put it right here in the right frontal lobe. So I'd really look into what the right frontal implant or like that part of the brain does and amplifies it to steady it. But what they're showing me is that you have a natural ability to connect telepathically with those who are lost and who are calling out to be found, whether that be in the physical world or the spiritual world, right? Because this is the lifting of the veil, right? So there's this time period that's coming in right now with these gifts as they're coming more online, this gift of location especially, is to really allow yourself to come into alignment. I don't know if you want to tune into this more. It's not something that you need necessarily. It just enhances. And once you're able to integrate completely into the work that you are doing, there's kind of like this mechanism where it will just dissolve. So it is for your benefit to study you as you go through these changes and these metamorphosing moments. It does seem to appear as if it helps with the location during astral projection and astral planing, which are different. Nancy Taylor can tell you all about that. Astral planing, I don't think that's like a verb. But what it says to me is that there's some kind of connection with the central sun. And there's part of that, these lost frequencies are here on Earth, and somehow through the anchoring within them, something happened, and that you're kind of here to help locate them. Does that make sense? This makes no sense to me. I'm just going with it. So if I'm totally off, I'm so sorry. This is just what they're telling me. So they're just asking me to speak as direct as possible. So right now is a moment of really just going within yourself and allowing yourself to release what no longer serves. Okay, thank God. They keep coming back to the golden children, the portals, which is a whole other side quest, which you know all about, and that will come into fruition at some point. But there's something also about this that also allows you to keep, it's like I don't know if you feel this, if there's like little hooks that kind of people like try to hook themselves in, and they like want to be in your energy, and they kind of want to like use it to amplify themselves, because you have this great ability to amplify. It's like your curiosity with that. And so there is that, and it is really, what are you saying about this? There's this forge, not follow card, right? Okay. So what they're saying about this, is to, okay, let me see if I can get this directly, is to, you are in the right place where you are walking. It is good that you are trusting yourself completely. Yes, you are correct. Things are not what as they seem. And it is good that you are taking time to suss that out. And I just got to pull my kids' suss word in there. I think it's the greatest word ever. And once again, this has to do with children and lost frequencies. It's like they came down and they got distorted somehow. So that it's all in that. So right now, just allow yourself, and it is really about waiting and observing and watching, and you really leaning in on what's true and not what's true, because you are really seeing a lot of false truths right now. And it's not even really so much like it's a conscious thing. It's just that not everyone is here playing the same game. So you're really, it almost feels like you're searching for a place to land where you know that you'll be caught, because the work that you come here to do is precarious. Does that make sense? So it is really important to trust those around you, because you know why. So in order to, if you, okay, sorry, thanks for your patience while I work this out. So in order to really amplify and tune in and get to know this, what I'm hearing is just go within, ask for that future self and that past self to come in, create the Holy Trinity, thus activating the of your higher self, and allow that to come into fruition. The level of the mission is important. I mean, like, really important. I mean, it's so hard to say, right? But I'm saying that because it's really important for you to come to to who is going to be there to help you with this mission. There are others that are already working on it. They're coming into alignment. So allow yourself to trust and to follow what feels right and where you're feeling supported. That's the most important thing. So keep observing. I hope that was helpful.
I'm going to start with your dice. You've got Aries and then South Node in the 11th house. The 11th house is the Aquarius house, and it brings about rebellion, social awareness, understanding of these concepts. So where the North Node is where we should be moving towards in our life, the South Node is things that we've already come in with, and we're trying to learn the opposite energy of that flavor. So the opposite of the Aries, which you got, is the Libra. So instead of rebelling with aggression and loud passion and kind of being that spark of the rebellion, you're still going to spark. Man, there's a lot of important things I need to say, so this makes a lot of sense. Instead of that spark, you're going to lead in this way that people don't even know. Libra has this great way of accessing the mind, and I kind of tease my Libra humans by they kind of like witzily walk into positive situations. So they're kind of like, oh, did I win? You know what I mean? And you're like, what? But really, they're one of the smartest signs out there. They're an air sign. They're of the brain. They're of cognition. So they know exactly what they're doing, and it's like leading in this way of balance and understanding, where it's like it's not going to be aggressive, it's going to be subtle, and it's going to be a deep implementation that will take root inside of people's brains, but also feel really fair and good to their souls. You are safe and protected. Okay, you are. And that's important to note, because you've also got the octopus card here. And sometimes the octopus will outstretch its hands everywhere, and it puts its hands in too many pies. And it gets a little overwhelmed, and then it like sucks people in and holds them a little too close and shares maybe a little bit too much. And that's okay. That's okay that you have that tendency. It's something that, again, is like endearing and not like aggressive, right? It's something that it balances out that divine masculine flair, right? Because it doesn't go the aggressive Aries route. It goes the more like subtle, fair, steady and true route. You've also got the frog, and the frog is the master of the land and water, right? It can both stay steady and go with the flow. So again, this is another card of deep, deep balance. Not only can you clear someone and cleanse them, but you can heal them. So not only are you able to ground them and keep them rooted and clean them and protect them, but you're also able to heal them and dive into your intuition. And you do so extremely creatively. The fifth house of creativity. This is the Leo house. This is the house where we play, where we spark our joy, which leads our intuition to do more joy, which leads to better and bigger things, right? So it's a much more subtle spark than the Aries. The Aries is kind of like, I'm here. You know what I mean? Whereas the Leo is kind of like regal, and it's like, acknowledge me, which really flows well with the Libra, because the Libra is all about that like aesthetic, about getting that right vibe of like really feeling into the vibes, right? It's a much more balanced approach to leading. It's what the divine masculine is transforming into. And I think you're going to be a real leader in that realm. Like, hey, we don't have to deal with anger, aggression, and our physical force, right? We need some of understanding and balance and equity and creativity while still maintaining being a man.
Yeah. That's such a normal thing, that cognitive dissonance. But yeah, you really are blending so much in there. There's just so much. There's so much. So
start by following your joy, James. If you're not sure where to start, the best place to start is what made me happy today, and then try to do that thing and be like, is this still making me happy? And keep following those breadcrumbs of joy. That's the best place to start.
Practical Steps by Sammy. Yeah, I love always the practical steps. So thank you so much, James. I hope that was helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, please let us know. You can reach out to us, of course. I know that was we just blabbed a lot at you. So if you take some time to like let that integrate as things come up, ask away. All right, Miss Ivy, I believe, is next. Is that what I said?
Ivy. Yep.
Cool. right away, the first thing they want me to tell you, Ivy, is you have the gift of voice. Using your voice, speaking your truth, and not just that, but sharing your experiences with the, it's like a siren, except you're not going to eat people at the end. I know, because every time I'm siren, I'm like, why do people take that? I take it as a compliment. And you have this ability to, the way that you share your experiences and then you use your voice kind of lures people into almost like a trance state, which gives them time for their brain to shut off so they can actually process what's happening. So I think sometimes almost for you, I wonder if this happens to you a lot where you're like, is that person even listening to me when I'm talking? Because what happens is you have this direct connection to everything that is, right? And it's not only does that fall into where you live and, you know, where your people come from and are going to, but like in your star seed, everything about your constellations and how you're set up is to create this space. And so quite often it's almost like people don't hear you when they're not ready. And so that siren way about you is able to help you bring in more of that. So it is really, so what I'm hearing straight up is, and this is, you know, this is coming directly, and I'm so honored that this is coming directly from those close to you that have passed, is that it is really important to continue to share the story, continue to know the stories, to hold on to the traditions, because there is a time coming, and I think you feel it, where there is going to be a real strong push for the eradication of that. And so part of that is as being that that person, like, oh my God, I know. Should there be any energy to call in? And I guess I got it from two different places, so I'm just going to put it up here, is Sophia. Whether that's in this gold and blue, right? Royal blue for peace, gold for energy, or as the dragon itself, or somewhere in between. There is this calling as an anchoring star, as this way shower, as this messenger, as all of this. In my most gentle way possible, because everything's always choice. You really are who you've set yourself out to be. And that's evident in every breath that you take. And so as you breathe more into yourself, it cascades through. And so using your voice, whether that be for in a healing capacity, whether that be just storytelling, whether that be just communicating, whatever that is, there's that frequency in your voice that brings calm and peace and that healing in just that. Yeah. So I encourage and invite you to begin to tell your story, and the whys, and share that in your groups and with people, as especially in your groups, because that's an invitation that is for there, that you can do at any time. That's an open invitation. It's time, and there's literally no pressure to do anything, but hearing your voice is like a big deal. You have that within your frequency to really get into the heart and the mind of soul of people. That's kind of, you know, a perk of being that anchoring star in that way. Because it is quite often a lot that you may not actually be remembered as the messenger, but that the message will be received. And there's something about that in there, about the coming together as you stand in your own truth, sharing your story. So I don't know if like you want to venture onto that world, if like maybe even make I don't know if that's like a TikTok thing or a podcast thing or but your voice is really important. It's the voice of creation. Should you choose to accept that? Okay, I'm done.
Okay. We've got Neptune sacrifice. We've got love yourself. Heart chakra stuff, right? Both green. Got the shark. Again, making his little appearance. We've got Mars and Gemini in the 10th house. Neptune is kind of like Hollywood, you know? It's kind of like within the stories that they're telling and weaving, there's some lies and there's some truth, right? And it's because you're always balancing this tension. Like the sharks are circling underneath in this reading, I feel, you know, and you're like feeling the tension of like, when are they going to pop off? When are they going to pop off? And so while you can use your imagination right now and you can really tap into your intuition, because when Neptune comes up, that's our space to dream weave. It needs to come after a severe time of loving yourself. So it needs to be about you right now. Give from your saucer, not from your cup. We're back to that idea again, right? We're back to the idea of like radical self-acceptance. Because you are this voice that people will follow, right? And so the tension is there because the radical acceptance isn't there just yet, but you're picturing it, you're feeling it out, you're living in that zone. You're picturing the person you're going to be 5 years from now, right? And you're dream weaving that moment, and it may feel like lies right now as you're living it, right? It may feel like it's an untruth, but it's kind of like a fake it till you make it situation. Sometimes you've got to kind of envision it and live in it before you can really achieve it. And so the 10th house is the Capricorn house of long-term goals, your reputation, your public image, right? So it's like right now, this turn is all about how people see you. Gemini of two minds, you can see all the different perspectives. It just feels very ungrounded right now. It feels like you've got Mars, you've got the passion there, you've got the action, you've got the forward momentum, you've got your mind going and turning and churning. But what you're lacking is that connecting back to self. And once you start loving yourself and connecting back to yourself and doing what you want to do, that's when the authenticity and the acceptance kicks in. And that's when people stop fighting and start going, oh, maybe she's onto something. And it's like this thing we're not taught to do, radical self-acceptance. We're actually not taught about it at all. We just recorded a podcast about the body-mind connection, and a lot of really cool topics came up about how we're taught from a very young age to ignore ourselves, to ignore our emotions, to ignore what our needs are, to ignore our bodies, to ignore all of those things. And so you're figuring this out before the rest of the world is taking this journey. And you're going to like, once the rest of the world is on this path of radical self-acceptance, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I just went through that cycle. Here it is. That's where the power comes, right? Because you're like, right now you're in this like over inundation period. And so once you get to that place of acceptance, that's when you're able to kind of suss it all out and be like, okay, this is the path I'm on. And now I can really, truly start getting my yields, getting my returns on investment. I don't know why I said it that way. Maybe because we're in the 10th house. Capricorn's all about getting that money. So yep, this is an abundance of self, something we're not taught to focus on, but that you're going to be an expert on. That's going to be your gift, is like, I love me. You should love you. Let me show you how.
Yeah.
You know, let me show you how to listen. Let me show you how to feel into that heart space and really believe it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I'm excited for you. Share that journey. Cool. Thank you, sister. As always, it's an honor. Next, we've got Christy. Are you here? McDonald, not Westgate. Just for
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna do it. Excel and expert at it, and you're gonna help others teach them, just like she said. Stoked. Yeah. Makrotoshka narakitia koto. Oh, thank you so much, Ivy. Miss Christy McDonald, are you here? Can you say yes? I mean, it's okay if not. I can timestamp you at $1:20. Good. I'm going to dive in.
Okay, go for it.
First and foremost, Miss Christy, thank you so much for allowing us into your energy. It's funny when we come into these places and we're really looking outside for answers and we're wandering around and trying to figure it out. So what I'm going to go through should help you navigate this a little bit. And I'm hoping it sits really well with you. I would love to know because I'm really just going to allow the information to come and step through directly from those that are with you all the time. And so the first and foremost thing is there's a knowing that you are being called. You've been feeling this pull. You've been knowing it. In fact, it feels like you've been walking towards this and on this path for a little bit now. There is this moment of where you are kind of like in this way station and in the waiting. There is a request that extra protection is taken at this time as you traverse through these waters. There is so much about surrounding yourself with those that are in alignment with you. So there's a time when we take that we work in the quiet and when we gather and when we learn and we take time to really sit with that. And so what it feels like right now is there's a lot of noise within you and surrounding you. And there is this calling to get quiet now. That's always easier said than done, right? Because most people on the planet, their brain goes quiet. It doesn't feel like that's the case with you. So the steps with that is really connecting in and simplifying and really just allowing yourself to be completely surrounded and supported by your soul family, by those that have said yes to your contracts. I feel like the loudness is in your head, and this is what they're saying, is this direct connection to source. I don't know if sometimes you get these random yawns or stars in your eyes or like a heaviness sometimes, or maybe you feel like you're going to faint. there is a ridiculous amount of energy that's coursing through you at all times. There is a particular expression that it seems like you're looking for to be able to kind of release and move this energy. The card that was pulled for that is the portal card. So this is once again divine sovereignty. You decide, and to get as wild and as wonderful as you want to take that chance. Yes, you're in a holding pattern right now. You're in this way station, but I believe it's because this is giving you opportunity to look around and see what's real and what's not. Because your ability to sense that and sense the shifting of the timelines and to kind of know before the knowing that the knowers know, if that makes sense, is in fact unusual. And pretty incredible considering the amount of energy that is going through you at all times, which feels normal to you, but would take out pretty much most of humanity, just as a side quest note. I do believe that, just flipping the cards over here, is that it is, I don't know if I call it a need, but there is an opportunity to change the perspective, to go further within, and allow this to come out of you. Because yeah, it's different. I don't even think it has a name yet, to be honest. It's not supposed to. This thing that you've been experiencing, we'll call it that. Does have the opportunity to work with others that would make it a lot less serious. It would bring more fun and laughter. So once again, I think that's why there's that call to simplify your circles and really look and snuggle up next to those who really hold the space for you completely and allow you to be you and allow you to work to where you're going and what you need to do in your own way, and to love you no matter what. You're not here to keep the waters calm. I hope that helps. Dang. I'm done.
I'm going to try to go in some sort of linear fashion, but I'm going to be honest, it's not coming in that way. And I've just got to go with that. So, the thing we are usually the least capable of doing in the beginning tends to be the thing we're able to teach others most readily. So the first thing you've got is this is the lizard. And the lizard, while it is very instinctual, it's a dreamer, it gets easily overwhelmed. It gets sensory overload really, really quickly, and its mind is scattered. And so we've got the Calm Your Mind card. Okay, so let me tell you the order of the cards. This is going to make a little bit more sense. So you've got the North Node card, the Life's Purpose, right next to the Calm Your Mind card, right next to the Lizard card, which is like, I'm having trouble calming my mind, right next to the Owl. The Owl is clairvoyant. It is abundance. It is generous. It's trusting. It's secure. It's all of those great things. Now, why would a mind be constantly running, and why would you feel overstimulated? It's when you're not feeling safe, right? That's the lizard to owl connection. When the safety and the security isn't there, when the root isn't talking to the third eye, it's when you get to a place where your mind can't calm. But your life's purpose, your literal life's purpose, is to guide others to a calm mind. you rolled Cancer and Saturn in the seventh house. The seventh house is the house of equality. It's the Libra house. And while Libras are really good at equality, I think an evolved Libra is even better at equity. So you're taking that a step further and you're not saying like, oh yeah, we should all have equal things. We should all have equitable things based off our abilities and our needs in the moment of now. That's how we should share. That's how we should gift out. That's how we should be generous, is with equity, not equality. And those are two very different things, right? I used to work in the realm of special education. So if I have a kid who needs glasses and a kid that is in a wheelchair and a kid who has a social and emotional disorder, they're going to get different things than a neurotypical person or an abled person, right? They're going to get different, what is that called? Tools or things put in place in order for them to get the most fair chance at getting the education that they need, right? So the kid that can't see very well is going to get glasses. The kid in the wheelchair is going to be maybe getting a seat closer to the teacher or closer to the door, depending on their personal needs. And then the child with a social emotional disorder is going to get frequent breaks from class that a neurotypical child just doesn't really need. I think you have a very unique ability to work in people's past lives.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have the ability to be, that's why your mind is so busy, right? Because it's seeing so many things at one time, a lot of times. You're kind of seeing the past and the present and the current moment at all times. And so that's why the mind feels really out of control. And then a lot of those past life traumas do knock you off of a place of security, right? You stop feeling safe. You stop feeling grounded when you're in that space. I think you are going to be working specifically with people with anxiety disorders, with depression, and working through past life or early life traumas with them. That's really what feels like is your gift. I'm feeling a strong pull to working with children, to working with adults that are still having the emotional regulation of children, all of that kind of thing.
Yep.
I think that's it.
You tied into that. I don't know if you've heard of Wilhelm Reich, but he's a really interesting cat. And I was hearing to research his like psychoanalyst stuff. We have someone who's coming on to Pelucity who's been doing that, and that works pretty amazing. Also, he's like this crazy ass scientist, which is super fun. There's some controversy around his life, but that's what happens when you grow up in the time period that he did and be an outlier. So, yeah, man, it's cool. I'm excited for you. Hope that helps. Let us know.
Let us know. Let us know.
We've had another donation.
What?
It's from beautiful Jennifer Boyan.
Jennifer Boyan. I haven't heard from Jennifer Boyan in a long time.
He's been busy. That's a good thing. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining and for donating. Hi, friend.
Oh, well, there we go.
Doing really well. How are you, Miss Jennifer? It's a big heart expansion happening. Holy cow. Where should work? Yeah. You were busy? Okay. Dang it. Ja, sokoška na jati kiki, ja so tvoru krpna katja. Sinja šoko toroškri. Batski nijak karasini. is gonna be weird, but I'm into it. Are you ready for weird, Jennifer? Yeah, you feel the shifts. I'm gonna get right into that. You ready? I'm gonna prop myself up for this.
Bring it.
First and foremost, the current calling that I got right away, and this is like why I went into this deck a couple times, because it was calling and I knew it was coming. There is some in your meditations when you're working to go in and to connect specifically with the Council of Sirius C and the blue flame. You will approach it, you will know, as you can see, there's kind of like it goes to like this portally thing, and within that there's the henge. But do you see who's in the blue flame? Yeah, okay, that. Okay, so this is currently what I'm feeling is why all these shifts and everything, that you've been growing so much. You're an incredible healer. You are a beautiful channeler. You have such a light. It's wild, and especially being on the ley line that you're on. Oh, can't see who's in it. Let me bring it a little closer. Yes, that's you. Okay, anyway, so this is what you're connecting with. So when you go to this meditation, allow yourself to connect with yourself as the blue flame, right? This is a fractal part of you. We all come from color and sound and all this good stuff. This is the part that's coming through now. The reason that you're feeling these shifts happening all around is because you're sensing the unrest and what's happening. You are totally and completely correct in what you're feeling and noticing. There is discord amongst this Palladian Orion energy, okay? They are on the hunt. And by they, that frictional energy that's been about, and it's been infecting pretty much everything around us, because we're all meant to have big change, right? And this frictional energy, it's not good or bad. It just is, right? It's the energy that comes in to bring friction, right? And so there is this, I've got this, your guys like, here's a step-by-step process that we want to give to her. So this is what they're telling me. It is time for you to just trust. If it doesn't feel right, it's not. If it doesn't feel right, it's not. It's okay that things are changing, you know that, right? And these big shifts are happening, but it's almost like, I don't know if this makes any sense, but it's almost like your work is going to go underground in a way. It's going to be super word of mouth. People are going to come from all over the place. And it's not going to be showy and out there. It is truly going to be this really deep work that you'll be doing, the way that you're going to connect into. And this blue flame is involved, but there's something about this frictional energy. So they want me to give you some tips for this, okay? So in order to increase your protection, okay, they're saying go into your solar plexus chakra. You have a dragon there. Bring this blue flame and feed the dragon. Allow the dragon to connect with the central sun completely. Oh, I understand. This will bring in the courage you've been asking for. So this blue flame is all about that. So really, even if you want to start dressing in more blue and like bringing more blue into your life that way, and all flavors of blue. The next one is your throat chakra. This will help define the direction. So talk about it. This could be even to yourself in the mirror. The throat chakra, they really want me to look at the code, is for you to go in and speak the direction that you're going. this work, the next two cards are the source star chakra and the heart chakra. This is the healing of the heart within the tribe. Okay, and the tribe that includes planet Earth. There's this flavor that I'm feeling, this frictional energy that's been about, that I feel as if it's, and I could be totally off base. And if I am, this is my most favorite time to be wrong ever. So if I'm not, then we're on the same level right now of where we're at in the game, so to speak. So this frictional energy is really searching for completion and wholeness and love, and it's really it's in everything right now. And so we're all kind of bringing that up within our own selves to look at, right? And to allow you to really look at it. So we're all in this moment of saying, what are we here to do? What's our purpose? What do we want to learn? All of that, right? And so there is kind of a changing of the guards and the shifts, because the earth is shifting, right? The work, just like you said, your work is shifting. You are more incredible than there are words for me to describe. And I see this within you. And I always have. I've said this from the very beginning. And whatever you choose to do in your life, and however you choose to lead, lead your life and live it, will bring harmony and success to everything around you. I know this part is really hard. That aching of the knowing. And to be an observer and a witness to it, right? It's time, my friend. And it's okay. You were always loved. You were always valued. I, for one, am honored to be able to be even just a small part in this beautiful journey of yours, and how you are going out and stepping forth on this path. You're right. Not everyone is coming. And that's okay. They're not supposed to. But you always have a home. And not just here with us, but in your own space as well. And so, from sister to sister, I encourage and celebrate you. It's an amazing world out there. And you're the right one for it. I hope that helps you. I love you so much. Okay, I'm done.
All right, so I've got Aries. I am love your body. The hummingbird. See a lot of red here, blue and red. The either or. I don't know why, but they're like blue and red, the either or. And I was like, okay. You've got Jupiter and Sagittarius in the 4th house. This is the house of home. This is expansion in the house of home. This is luck in the house of home. This is multiple cultures. And they think of Sagittarius like cross-cultural connection, but I'm thinking of it as, yes, cross-cultural, but also cross-galactic connection, right? Pulling all of that in and making a home out of something, of peoples that have traditionally not thrived well together. And the reason why you have the gift to do this right now is because you have a mass amount of energy. The hummingbird is really good at nourishing. It's really, really good at nourishing itself, and it moves really fast, right? And it takes these time to drink up the sweetness, right? And then it goes about its way, right? It loves its body. And that's a really important theme for you, just getting into the body, and getting into a space where you feel really good about your 3D body and taking care of it is really important for you right now. Aries is a lot about the body too. It's a lot about being in your body and your identity and how people perceive your body and your first impression. And you are. Aries is I am. I am. Okay. You are a leader. You are important. You are a voice. You are all of those things, right? That is your, oh, you are an Aries. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, perfect.
It's suddenly making sense to me. Yes. Okay. So that is your gift. I will say I do feel like a class is coming on. Like there's one additional thing that you need to really study and learn up before you can take on this cross-cultural conglomerate of homestead that you're creating. So just keep an eye out for following your intuition and what feels important to study and learn.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you, my friend. Thank you so much for allowing us. I know. What could it be? It's out there. I don't know, man. I found a human design, so good luck. Thank you so much. I don't think Christy, the other Christy's here, so we'll definitely record that. I see that there's a little Facebook that says, may I have a reading, please? I'm open to that if you are. I just don't know who they are.
Yep. Ebony is saying that their partner is making a PayPal donation very soon, and may they have a reading, please.
Yeah, yeah. Stephanie?
Ebony.
You're so welcome, Jennifer. Yeah, it's powerful. Trust it, okay? Trust it. Oh, okay. Ebony, so part of why there's so much suffering is because you come from a high frequency. You come from a density that doesn't normally come down this low. And so it's very traumatic on your being, just so you know. Because where you come from, there's only love and it's very collective. So these transitional lives here on Earth have been, it's getting easier. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, right. Yeah, well, you're remembering, right, Jennifer? Okay. Yeah. So one of your biggest gifts is healing the divine feminine. No big deal, right? And so there's so many reasons why, the whys that have come through and why your life is this way, why other lives have been this way. It is because you are here. And this is what you're doing this simply by existing, right? There's like nothing extra you need to do, which is so great. Simply you're rewriting what it means, the strength, what that means to be strong as the divine feminine, what that means to be the protector and to give and receive protection as the divine feminine, the wisdom of the divine feminine, right? Okay. Like the freaking, like how it's okay to still know what you're doing. So the Epiphany card came upside down because you don't need to do anything else. There's nothing else you need to do, right? But what this is, it feels like, is taking that strength, that central sun, that that energy within you in your solar plexus and pouring that into your sacral, right? And allowing it to charge each other. So I don't know, maybe we should lab up get your human design chart, because I feel there's a lot in there that is going to give your brain the information that it needs. But like this work that you're doing, I know it doesn't feel like you're doing anything, but that's what it feels like when you're recoding an entire line. And so, yeah, Mark, definitely. And so, because healing yourself, right? The gift in that way is that promotes with your children and your elders and everyone around you, and as you grow. And there is this, so specifically right now, what I'm hearing is that if to really begin your work and learning about the energies of the deities and the stories of the gods and the Essenes and the galactics, and like really going in there and diving deep and giving your brain something beautiful to kind of hyper focus on. Because by doing that and educating yourself in that way and bringing that in, you will be making new groups of friends, more into the soul tribe, more into alignment with you. That brings you more into alignment. And so as you're transitioning through this phase, because it's hard, man, it's hard, and you're doing an amazing job, because this is not just your life you're healing. It's not. And so because of that, right, there's just like so much more to it. And so it really is like these next ones, it's really hold on tight, right? The loosen your grip card came, hold on tight to life, hold on to the reins of that. There is this calling, right? I'm trying to get the right order, moving into this new realm. And yeah, it's unknown and it's scary, but man, there are so many people who are ready to cheer you and to hold you and to remind you that it's okay and that we're freaking humans, right? And to do all that and to celebrate that. And there's something within the real world. And, because this is the star ancestors, right? And they're saying this is about your magic in the real world, your being, your healing, and your gift is being that drop in the ocean that creates a tidal wave. So study, learn new things, follow your joy, as Sammy was just saying. That. She's got more. I could go on forever. I'm excited for you. It's really, really exciting. Okay, I'm done.
All right, you've got Virgo and the North Node in the third house. Virgo and the third house is the Gemini house. So the Gemini and Virgo both ruled by Mercury. And so what you're doing is you're moving towards the archetype of the nurturer, of that Virgo nurturer. Virgo is like the mama of the earth sign, right? It provides like a safe, secure, perfect home. She's the Instagram mom. Okay, but she really does have her shit together.
Yeah.
It's not an illusion. And so this is like the true, like exalted female, like the Madonna or whatever. No, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
There's the Madonna. Is it the Virgin and the Madonna?
I don't know.
What are the two? Anyways, she's the Virgin, right? So she like comes in and she's, and that's that archetype. What your gift is birthing this concept that innocence is not a thing that you either have or don't have. You can't lose it. You can't. And it's interesting because you've got Chiron healing. This is generations of wounds in the span of innocence, and you're really going to be working with women and children. You're going to get playful, you're going to get creative, you're going to pull people out of this, well, I've lost my innocence and I'm worthless. I feel a sense of a little bit of religious trauma somewhere in there. Like somewhere in society, you've been burned by this concept. I remember when I was a middle schooler and I went to Bible camp, and they sat us all down, and we all had to draw hearts and color them and cut them out. And then we all had to rip pieces off of our hearts. And they said, every single time you have sex, that's what happens to a woman, is she rips little pieces of her heart away. And even if you try to tape this heart back together or glue it back together, it always is going to look broken. And that's what you're going to give your husband. This lack of innocence, this lack of...
Oh my God. No wonder I couldn't grow up in a cult.
Huh?
No wonder. There's no way I would have been like, and burning it all down to the ground, burning it.
This, you're not going to be this beautiful virgin. You're going to be this ugly thing that's tainted forever. And do you really want that? And that was like the fear that they instilled in us. And I think that there's something, that's your gift. Your gift is to undo those years and years and years of religious repression on women. And I think it's not even about religious anymore. We've adopted that religious concept into our social structure as a society now. And we look at women as either good or bad or this or that. Or, you know what I mean? She can either be a housewife or a mistress, right? She's either a career woman or a mom, or you can do both and you have to do it all. And you have to be the most perfect and you have to be Instagram mom about it, right? So there's a lot of this energy going on here. You've also got the Eagle card, and the Eagle card is all pervading power. It's a truth seeker. It transforms karma, just like Chiron does, right? It transforms, releases, and heals these deep wounded traumas that we have no control over, that just come into us, that are just pushed onto us. And it's going back to play. It's reconnecting these women to their inner child. It's reconnecting these women to children. It's showing, having these women teach these children, like, there is no shame, there is no loss of innocence. Innocence isn't a thing that comes or goes, right? It's a thing that we can tap into when we need to. I don't know, there's a lot here. I'm not entirely sure if I'm supposed to know it all, because it's not really I'm sure I'm going to be learning about it from you at one point in my life, but this is a big chapter.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. Hopefully that was helpful.
And on that, she goes to mute. Bark, bark, barky, bark, 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 bark. That's always what happens, right? Anytime there's like an ambulance or like lightning strikes behind us. So yeah, hold that with you. Like keep paddling, keep moving forward. You're supported, you're loved, you're totally worthy. Like do it. And kind of selfishly, we need it. We need you. So that freedom that comes from that. So it is just so beautiful. So thank you, dear friend, for allowing us into your energy and doing some deciphering. It's pretty dope.
Thanks, Ebony. We're excited to see what you do.
Mark's
I think
next.
This is gonna have to be my last reading.
Mark.
Okay with you? Yeah, Mark. Yep. I'm gonna change the banner.
Let me get to it. There's a time when I could control things. Capricorn.
Oh, I thought I was being helpful. I'm so sorry. If you wanted to do it, I'm so sorry.
You do it. Do it.
Oh, I spelled it wrong.
You'll pick it in like 10 seconds. This is what happens. This is true love when Aquarius and a Capricorn get together and they can touch the same things. It's amazing. Look, I would have never. Yeah, she did that. How long did it take her? 13 seconds? 14 seconds? It would have been me like, I don't know. Well, how long do you think it would take me? 7 minutes? Find yourself a Capricorn. Get to be really good friends with them. Fall in love with their dogs.
A good way to get in with a Capricorn is to love their dogs. That's true. To love animals.
I know. Your dogs are so easy to love too. Mark, are you ready for this? Hold on. My cards aren't. They're like, going to take you 15 minutes because you would have like, should I just do this one? Should I just redo this? And you're like, I just made a new one.
3 words. Direct.
I love it though. It's something that I admire so much about you. It just, Oh, Mark. 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 Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay, Mark. Yeah. You're so welcome, Emily. Good. Mine's gonna be insane.
That's exciting.
Should we start with insanity?
Yeah, why not? That's what we usually do, just diving into the insane right away.
That's true.
What's the point, right? If you're not.
I know. You're so right. Chaos. Okay. Where do you want to start? Okay, Mark. The puzzle piece that you have been looking for. This is the light. This is the light card, right? That's Saturn, though. And see how Saturn's like blabbing out to the universe both ways in its north and south pole? This is the light. So in the galactic realm, Saturn is known a couple different ways. It depends. Like if you're in the conspiracy series realm, they call it the satanic planet. It's the Luciferian planet, which I think is hilarious on so many levels because Lucifer literally means the bringer of light, but it's fine. But in the galactic realm, it's known where many councils come and it's kind of like Sweden and they all come and they chill there. Anywho, so you're part of that council, the council of that. And what that means is that what they're telling me is, oh, this explains so much. Okay. What they're telling me is when you go to sleep at night, do you know where you go? Because you go to the council and you voice every single night, every moment possible of the protection of Earth. And not just the protection of Earth, right? Here it is. You've got protection, you've got Queen Bee, and you've got the Earth Star chakra. Okay. There has been this ongoing discussion, I guess you could call it. Everyone has an agenda and opinion, right? And there's talk about the experiment. I feel like you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying this, and how it's not going according to plan. And they've let it go on long enough, and there's just like a lot of banter back and forth. And so you've been kind of going around observing in all these lives and whatever. And you reside at the tail of the dove of the phoenix, right? So you are kind of like steering it in that way. And what is really cool is that your knowledge of the ancient wisdom of the earth in that innate sense in your cellular structure allows you to harmonize with source itself by resonating within the sacred waters around you. This helps feed the earth the energy that they need in order to continue on their path. So as you're stepping more into your truth, it's like, do you work with Sasquatches? Okay, anyway, Sasquatches, they're like time travelers. You might see them around, like little Sasquatch Yeti guys. Sometimes they're not always big. Sometimes they're small. Depends how old they are. I don't know if you see them in the corner of your eye, but they're there too. There's something about time traveling too in this. And this overall gift is that you're like on the council, you're kind of like one of the representatives of Earth. But not Earth. It's like the frequency of the Earth Star chakra. You're the representation of the plug. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. So that's how we're rolling today. So when you're at source, when you're all in the over the everything, and you were worked on the connection, you loved like connecting things and how they connected. That was like so fascinating. And like when like within the human cellular structure, like what happens when they all vibrate together, and it was just such a fascinating thing. And so when you got wind of this mutation and this chance to do something quote unquote new, you dove right in because you're like, this is so cool, and it's all in there. And it's always like you've been fighting for the underdog your whole life too, right? Because the earth in itself is the underdog in this scenario. Is this making any sense to you? Does this make any sense to you, Sammy? Okay, good. Because it's still just coming through. You are a giant protector. Not like a guardian, though. Something different. Like it reminds me of those Spartan leaders who went in and spoke to, like they were the ones that, you know what I'm talking about? Like in the 300. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna laugh when I show you what I got, what I pulled. You're gonna die.
Okay, take it from here, friends, because that's.
First of all, Mars.
Oh, of course.
Force. Dragon. This deck is the third chakra.
Yeah.
And collaborating with others, which also has dragon imagery. You are the flame, the stoke, the fire that's within you, that fire that builds in that furnace. It is the fire of, it can be transmuted into the fire of the earth, the movement, the passion, the action of the earth, right? I feel a strong connection with you and Mars, and the Mars-Earth relationship that's happening there. That once was like almost as if you move from Mars to Earth kind of thing. Like after Mars sort of collapsed, you were called to come to the Earth and prevent that from happening here. And I wouldn't be surprised if your first life you were a, Spartan of some kind.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So much dragon energy, right? So much innate gut knowing. Your gut is really, it would be interesting to look at your human design, like Allison always says, because you do have a lot of like, trust your gut is pretty apt phrase for you. Dragons can be kind of loners. They can kind of look out for number one, but in your case, you kind of are so, is enigmatic a word? Like you're so like you draw them all together and you allow all of these like big, forceful, aggressive voices to all kind of collaborate and work together. It's almost like you don't stand for it. And you've got Cancer and Uranus in the fourth house. So it's that rebellious nature. Like it's not scary to you. You take rebellion and you make roots out of it. You lasso that rebellion into a rooted place. And so people are forced to like look at things in a different way and experience them through like it doesn't cut off the rebellion or the chaos. It doesn't stop it, but it doesn't allow it to overtake the situation so that nothing can get done. in a way either, right? Like it doesn't put it down or say like you can't be forceful, you can't be chaotic, or you can't be rebellious. It's more like it says that's so great and you're welcome to have your opinion, but don't let your opinion infringe on anybody else's what they have going on, right? It's this unique balance that I've never even thought to think about before. That's extremely important, right? We need the chaos, but we also need the structure, and we need everyone to live in their toxic flow, but we need it not to hurt other people while they do it, right? And that's something that you're really good at doing, is wrangling that in and being like, I'm going to root that right in, and we're going to plug, and we're going to talk about this one topic here. You know, you're honest. You're not going to go off wild and crazy and do your own thing. You need to play with all the other stuff. And you're just like, I don't want to say scary, but it is. It's kind of like you're just intimidating enough, and not in a bad way. I don't mean this like you scare people, but it's like
you're not like a bully, right?
You don't play. You don't come to play, right? You come to get things done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It is so powerful though, right? Holy cow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's so nice too, because it's nice feeling all this beautiful divine masculine coming in, weaving in with the divine feminine and what that means for each. Right on the mark. Cool.
Thanks, Mark. Glad to be on the mark.
Yeah. On the mark with Mark.
Radio idea.
On the mark with Mark.
Podcast idea, Mark. Go.
Making it good. I can coin anything, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can. You're genius.
Oh my gosh. Thank you all for saying yes. Thank you for joining. Thank you for allowing us into your energy to help explore. Thank you all so much for your donations. I know it's been such a huge relief for Sarah and her family, and that they could really concentrate on just nourishing and helping Scubes, and he's doing well, and we're loving that so much. And you can catch myself again on Friday with Lorna and Kaylee. That's going to be a wild ride. I think we're doing 3 p.m. too. I feel like I already did the event. That feels like real life. So come there. That's going to be shadow stuff, which is always like, oof, if you want to watch some action, it's always a good time there. And then I know Tabby and Jennifer were talking about, you might see some other things. And of course, we're around everywhere else. So thank you, 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 thank you. All right. Ending podcast. Goodbye. Bye.